If you water your houseplants every Sunday, every 3 days, or whenever your phone reminder goes off, you could be slowly damaging your plants without realizing it. Here's the one rule I want you to remember. Never water your plant because of what day it is. Water it because of what the soil is telling you. Your plant doesn't know it's Sunday. Its water needs change depending on the season, temperature, humidity, light, airflow, and even the size of its pot. Imagine watering every Sunday because that's what your schedule says. But this week, the soil is still damp from the previous watering. You add more water anyway. The roots stay wet. Air spaces in the soil disappear. Over time, the roots can begin to struggle and rot, while the plant may still look perfectly healthy above the soil. And that's why a watering calendar can give you a false sense of security. So in this video, I'm going to show you the simple soil checking rule that tells you when your plant actually needs water. Once you learn it, you won't need to guess, count days, or blindly follow a watering schedule again. Stop watching the calendar. Start reading the soil.
Chapter 1. Why Schedules Fail, Even Careful People. Watering schedules feel safe because they're consistent, predictable, and easy to remember. The problem is that plants don't experience time. They experience conditions. How quickly soil dries out depends on light intensity, room temperature, humidity, pot size, pot material, and the specific plant's own water needs, all of which shift constantly across the year, sometimes even week to week. A schedule assumes all of these variables stay frozen in place indefinitely, which they never do. This is precisely why the exact same water every Sunday advice can keep one plant perfectly healthy while quietly drowning another sitting just a few feet away in slightly different light.
Chapter 2. The Rule Itself. Check before you pour. Here is the entire rule, distilled down to one sentence. Before watering any plant, check the soil first, and let what you find decide whether you water today or wait. Push a finger about 2 inches down into the soil, past the surface layer that dries out fastest and least accurately reflects moisture near the actual roots. If it feels damp or cool down there, wait a few more days and check again. If it feels dry, it's time to water. That's genuinely the whole rule. No app, no fancy meter, no memorized number of days required. It takes about 10 seconds, and it automatically adjusts itself to your exact plant, your exact home, and the exact current season, something a fixed schedule can never do.
Chapter 3. What if you don't want to use your finger? Some people, understandably, don't love sticking a finger into soil every few days. If that's you, there are 2 other reliable options. A wooden skewer works almost identically to a finger. Push it into the soil, pull it out, and check whether it comes out with moist soil clinging to it or comes out essentially clean and dry. Weight is another surprisingly reliable indicator, especially once you've handled a specific pot a few times. Lift the pot right after a thorough watering and mentally note how heavy it feels. Lift it again a few days later. A pot that's become noticeably lighter is a strong sign the soil has dried out and it's time to water again. This method takes a little practice, but many experienced plant owners eventually rely on weight alone because it's fast and requires no tools at all. Chapter 4. The Exception. Why always check first still has nuance. While checking before watering applies to the vast majority of common houseplants, it's worth knowing there's some variation depending on the plant type. Succulents and cacti prefer their soil to dry out almost completely, sometimes for over a week, before watering again. Checking 2 inches down isn't even necessary, since you're mainly confirming the soil is fully dry throughout.
On the other end, a small number of moisture-loving plants prefer their soil to stay lightly, consistently damp, rather than fully drying between waterings. For these plants, the same finger check still applies, but the target changes. You're checking to make sure the soil hasn't fully dried out, rather than waiting for dryness before watering. The core method, physically checking before you water, rather than watering on autopilot, remains identical. Only the target moisture level shifts slightly by plant type, something we'll cover species by species as this series continues.
Chapter 5. Turning this into an actual habit. Knowing the rule is one thing. Actually applying it consistently is another. The easiest way to build this into a lasting habit is to replace your old watering day reminder with a checking day reminder instead. Rather than a notification that says water plants, set one that says check plants. The small wording shift keeps you from watering on autopilot even when a reminder does go off. From there, if the soil is dry, water thoroughly until a little water runs from the drainage hole, confirming the whole root zone gets reached rather than just the very top layer. If it's still damp, simply close the reminder and check again in a few days. No harm done, no plant neglected, just an accurate read of what your plant actually needed that day. Watering on a fixed calendar feels responsible, but it quietly ignores the one thing that actually matters. What's happening in the soil right now, today, for this specific plant? Check first with a finger, a skewer, or the weight of the pot. Water only when that check tells you to. Adjust for succulents that want full dryness and moisture lovers that want to stay lightly damp. And replace your old watering reminders with checking reminders, so this becomes an automatic habit instead of one more rule to remember. This exact watering framework, along with a simple visual chart for different plant types, is laid out in full inside the free companion guide, The Confident Plant Parent, tying directly into Chapter 5. Grab it using the link in the description if you haven't already. It ties this entire foundation series together in one place. In the next lesson, we're moving from soil to sunlight, learning how to understand the light in your home without needing any special tools, using nothing but your own hand and a wall. If today's video finally makes watering feel less like guesswork, subscribe so you're here for the rest of this series, because it only keeps building from here.